Hello, 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 Aquarius. This is Capricorntigress, Adrian Igo of Astrology, A Look Inside, coming to you with your December 2018 horoscope for the last month of the year, actually. The last month of the year, Aquarius. So, well, it's an interesting month. Interesting month. I actually feel like you're going to have a good month, a very good month, actually. And the reason I believe this is because the emphasis is going to be in your solar 11th house. It's all in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is falling in your solar 11th house. And you know, the funny thing is that the 11th house is the natural house of Aquarius. So there's going to be a lot of emphasis in your house this month. And of course, Aquarius, you know, this is going to be a very good feeling. You should be able to make friends, or feel like you can make friends, or that you feel like you're really a part of the group, that you're lucky with the group of friends that you have, that there's luck and vitality with that group or associates. You'll feel like for the most part you can communicate with them. The Mercury does go retrograde from the 11th back into the 10th house, but that just means, you know, you might have to rethink something or redo something that has to do with your career. For the most part, I mean, that's a wonderful emphasis. And they're all sextile. The Sun will be sextile Aquarius. Jupiter will be sextile Aquarius. Mercury will be sextile Aquarius. It's just a wonderful experience. Now, Venus isn't, it's retrograded into, well, it's in Scorpio, and it's going from Scorpio, and I think it's going to go into Sag at some point, I believe. Also, there's a lot of emphasis in the second house because Mars and Neptune is there for you. You've got that emphasis of Capricorn and, you know, Pluto and Saturn going on. And then there's that Uranus that's down in the solar third this month. And Mars is going to be there on the 31st. There is the North Node that's moved into your solar sixth. So when I look at this between the, you know, the Venus going from over there around the 10th and 11th house, and North Node in the 6th, you know, you've got that Pluto, Saturn in the 12th, though. I'm thinking, first of all, you're going to be very lucky when it comes to groups and friends and associates and things like Snapbook and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. That's where most of your luck is going to be. Be careful of what you say. And I'll say that because Uranus is going to be transiting your solar third house, but also Mercury is retrograde and going from your 11th to your 10th house of image and reputation. Venus is floating around up there also in a strange state. So I want you to be cautious of that. There is going to be some emphasis in your second house. That's money. But Neptune has been there for a while. So you might have had some confusion over money. And that can be frustrating. There you got some powerful enemies, though, I believe, behind the scenes with Pluto in Capricorn in the 12th and Saturn in the 12th. Just be aware that, you know, you've got secret enemies. People that you think are your friends and people you think you can trust, you might not be able to trust them at all. So please be aware of this. Watch all those people that are around you and know that everyone around you is not your friend. Especially those, even those you think would never, ever betray you. Okay? So let's go now. That was my take, by the way, on your chart. I just went through it. It's all good, really, except for that Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn in the 12th house. But, you know, you're aware of that by now. You know that Saturn and Pluto are in that 12th house. You felt it. I'm sure by now your enemies or hidden enemies have exposed themselves because, you know, you've gone through having the North Node in the 7th house, and now it's in that solar 6th house finally. So hopefully most enemies that were hidden are now exposed. If not, I would say you always run the possibility of more enemies coming out of the woodwork, especially when Saturn is in Capricorn in that solar 12th house. So be aware of that, okay? For the most part, it's all fun. It's the 11th house. It's all making fun, doing things with your friends. Yeah, should be fairly good. Okay, so on December 31st, Mercury enters Scorpio. That is the 10th house. Remember I said it was retrograding back from Scorpio, from Sagittarius into Scorpio? Well, on the 1st, Mercury enters Scorpio, and it's an all or nothing kind of day. Especially when it comes to career. Don't like try to give that ultimatum at your job or to your boss, like I need a raise or I'm leaving. That would not be the day for it. Ooh, no. On the 2nd, the Sun is square Mars, and the Sun is in Sag, and Mars is in Pisces. And Pisces is your 2nd house, and Sag is up in the 11th house. So somehow what you're doing with groups and associates might have something to do with your money. Be cautious that day. That's the 2nd. Very interesting. You could be angry that day. That's what it's saying, because of the Sun in square, that act, just itself, that friction. Be careful being angry with your friends. I hope that's not to do with friends that you've had some money dealings with. That would be bad. You might just be careful arguing with friends that day. On the 5th, the Sun is square Neptune, and Neptune is also in that 2nd house. And the Sun again is in that 11th house. So again, that theme, there's some confusion there. Something to do with what you have to give to your friends or to groups or something like that. It says to rebuild and relax that day, but just be aware that you're having some weird experience between money and friends, or money in groups, or money in associations you belong to. Maybe somebody you joined something through Facebook and they were supposed to pay you and now they ain't paying you, or something to that effect. On the 6th of December, there's going to be a new moon in Sagittarius. More emphasis on that 11th house of friends again. And Mercury does go direct in Scorpio. So now Mercury's in the 10th house, but it's coming back toward the 11th as well. And you will feel like your career is back on track if it started to get a little rocky for a few days. Mars is conjunct Neptune, and that is down in the 2nd house, or the solar 2nd house. And that's just another indication that you can feel like you're divinely guided when it comes to the area of money or something like that. I could see that actually being something that you feel right now. On the 8th, Chiron in Pisces goes direct for the first time. So Chiron is going direct. Thank goodness. And that's also in your 2nd house. So release your pain and your fears and your worries and your doubts and your just all of those fears that you probably have about money. Hopefully you'll be able to get over that on the 8th. That means big money's coming your way. On the 12th, Mercury enters Sagittarius. Again, more emphasis on that 11th house. And Mercury means you'll be willing, and it's direct now, right? Not retrograde. So now you'll really be able to communicate and talk and interact with your friends, and on Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram and all those things and associations you belong to. It should be a time of a lot of communication and big thinking and big ideas. On the 15th, the Sun in Sagittarius is square the Moon in Pisces. So talk about more emphasis about the money and the friends again. Here we go. In this time, the Moon is in Pisces. So the Moon is in the 2nd house of your money, and the Sun is in the 11th house. So I wouldn't lend any friends money. Not during the whole darn month. Just saying. On the 20th, the Sun is trine Uranus. And Uranus is in Aries right now, and then the Sun is in Sag. So we've got the 11th house and 3rd house, the communication. So that's communicating with friends. And I'm You know, it's just saying take a chance. Maybe you'll make up with someone you had an argument with last week or something like that. On the 21st, the sun enters Capricorn. So now the emphasis is going out of you, out of Sagittarius and going into Capricorn. So it's going out of your 11th house, and the emphasis now is going into your 12th house. And you know, the funny thing about the 12th house is that it is a secret house. It's the private area of our lives. It's the things we don't want shown. It's the things we want hidden. It's when we hide. And you know, the funny thing is also known as the power behind the throne. And in this case, you've got Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn in that 12th house. Who knows what brilliant ideas you might come up with when the sun also goes in that 12th house. It's the winter solstice, but it could also just be a time when you're planning and making your goals for the rest of the year, the rest of your life. And so this should be a really important time actually for you, because you're planning and plotting what you're going to do to be victorious. That same day, Venus is trine Neptune, and Venus is, well, Neptune's in Pisces, and Venus is in Scorpio. And it just is a really good day. Hopefully you'll have a good day with your career and with your money, and it'll just feel really good to you. On the 25th, the moon is in Leo, and the moon in Leo is trine Jupiter in Sagittarius. And it's really a weird thing because, you know, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, by the way. Merry Christmas. But what happens is that you get this sextile to that Jupiter in Sag, but then you've got that opposition going with that moon in Leo. Please be aware that that moon is in Leo that day. That's your solar 7th house. And with Jupiter in Sag of hope and dreams, I could see you maybe, you know, going a little too far with friends, you know, when you're drunk, and you might be like, oh no, I slept with my friend or my coworker. I don't know why I see these things, these scenarios, but that is possible. On the 29th, the moon is in Libra, and there is a balance in relationships because the moon is in Libra, but the sun is also in Capricorn, so there's going to be a square between that sun in Capricorn and that moon in Libra. And there's going to be some tension and friction, and in your case, that's from that solar 12th area to like the 9th house, so that's weird. I'm wondering if you're going to get into some kind of weird debate over, like, I don't know if it's going to be legal things that really affect you, or maybe even some spiritual things. Like, just don't get in a debate over anything crazy that day. Now, if you didn't think that was bad, that, you know, the moon's in Libra, the sun's in Capricorn, well, on the 31st, Mars enters Aries. They're all square, by the way. Mars is home in Aries, and Aries is your solar 3rd house. You know, when Mars goes into the 3rd house, it could make you a really big communicator, like you might like talking or feel like you have to talk a lot. But it could also make you a very aggressive communicator. So please be aware that with Mars down in that solar 3rd house in the Aries now, you may have to watch your speech and make sure you're not coming off too aggressive. And with that, you guys, that is my reading for you, Aquariuses, for the month of December 2018. I love you, Aquariuses. I do. Happy holidays to you. Happy Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. And all of those other wonderful things. I'm actually making this before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Much love and light to all. Namaste. Have a wonderful Christmas.